Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the 5th episode of my Getting Back in Shape series. Today I'm going to be doing a speed, agility, and quickness workout. This is part of my warm-up, what you're watching right now. I'm just jogging down the field, down and back. This is actually one of my favorite workouts. Not specifically the speed, agility, and quickness, but just performance style workouts. So I really don't like lifting weights. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not getting ready for any physique competitions or anything like that. So in my free time, I would do like a flag football or basketball league within the city or somewhere. So my priority is more about how good I perform as opposed to how good I look. I also have a pretty good foundation of muscle mass at the moment, and I already look good anyways. So definitely want to focus more on the functionality workouts. Throughout this series, I'll be doing a little bit of everything, and then in the future, I'll be doing majority functional workouts, sprinkling in some weightlifting inside of those workouts. During the series, I probably will have some workouts where I'm just lifting weights, but that's just because, lifting weights is great. I just don't like lifting weights. So just jog down and back, forward and backwards. Now I'm doing 15 jumping jacks, 10 squats, 5 push-ups. You'll see this warm up through a lot of the series. A very basic general warm up that gets the whole body going. This time I sprinkled in good mornings with the squats. So instead of doing 10 squats straight, I did 2 squats, 2 good mornings. Oh wait, was that one? 1 good morning, 2 squats. So 15, 10, 5, and 5. I'm just doing good mornings this time to loosen up the hips a little bit more. Normally I would just do the 15, 10, and 5 squats. Jumping jacks, squats, and push-ups, but my hips are really tight, so I'm gonna do a little bit extra to get those loose. And so now, during the Getting Back in Shape series, the warm-ups are similar because the workouts are very basic and I just do a little bit of everything. And then in the future, the workouts that you see now will be a part of the warm-ups for my future workouts whenever I start to work out a little bit harder. You'll also see this one in a lot of the warm-ups. I'm doing about 8 arm circles forward, 8 back, 8 overhead in both directions, and then 8 across my chest. Very important, don't forget to warm up your neck. Your neck is directly connected to your shoulders and your arms. Your upper body and your core play a big part of your running. So it's a speed, agility, quickness day, but I'm not just gonna warm up my legs because everything's involved in running. After the arm movements, I'm gonna do some trunk twists. I'm gonna do 8 standing up straight, and then about 8, I don't really count, bent over forward, and then in between those two, I'm just gonna do a little more neck exercises, get the neck a little bit loose. My neck, shoulders, and hips are super tight. Even though I do yoga, I still sit down driving Uber way too much, so everything is crazy tight. All right, now I have some cones set up, I think 10 yards apart. Just gonna start with some butt kicks on the way down, trying to get the heel of my foot up to my butt. Once I get down, I'm gonna take a break for a second. It's just a warm up. I'm not doing this for endurance. Just taking it easy. I have my water bottle. You can't see it because it's cut off in the camera, but the water bottle's down there. In between each one, I'll also grab some water. On the way back, I'm doing some side lunges, lunging forward, back, and then stepping forward with the back leg. So a lunge on each side and then stepping across. So with the speed, agility, and quickness workouts, I'm gonna be taking a little bit longer of a break in between each exercise. My goal in this workout is to get faster, not more endurance. So I wanna train at a high level, which means I need to take longer breaks in between each exercise That way when I'm actually performing the drill, I can be training closer to top speed. And I'm not gonna wait too long between each one because in the actual game, we're not gonna have long breaks. So it's a little bit of a balance, but I'm definitely not trying to do all of these drills back to back as if I was trying to work on my endurance. Next up, we got some high knees, trying to get the knees up, but also making sure that I am pumping those elbows, actually moving the elbow, not just my forearm. So I'm really trying to drive the movement from my shoulders. Now we got some lunges with the twist. Probably should have done this one before the high knees, a little less impact, but I am taking a lunge forward and then twisting towards the front leg. So make sure you're twisting in the right direction. I want to open up that hip, take the knee out, not bring it more in. And then whenever you get to the end of the line, do an extra one to get past the line. Don't stop right before the line. I don't know what these are called, probably marching kicks or something like that, but I do know the name is not important. I'm trying to take my opposite foot to my opposite hand, not going too hard, just to warm up, and I haven't done speed, agility, quickness workouts in a while, and like I said, my hips are tight, so I'm just doing a light kick, trying to get it up there. Now I'm doing some lunges similar to the ones you just saw, still twisting towards the front leg. This time I'm just going backwards. I tried to increase the difficulty of the exercises throughout the warm-up. That's why I did lunges forward first and then backwards. That's also why I said I probably should have done the lunges before the high knees, because the high knees are a little more intense. The next exercise, I backed up 5 more yards because I'm doing it 15 instead of 10, and we're doing some karaoke's, rotating the hips, opposite direction of the upper body, and also these are karaoke's with the high knee, so I'm trying to drive that back knee up while doing the twist. Don't know the name of these either. I'm just trying to touch the opposite hand to the opposite foot, and it helps with balance if you really kick that back leg up equal to your front leg going down. So trying to keep a straight line between my upper body and my leg, that just helps with balance. These are similar to the good mornings, getting a really good stretch throughout your posterior chain, the back of the leg, the hamstring, all the way through the glutes, all the way up to your upper back as well. And then on the way back, we got a groin stretch. I have one hand underneath my foot, one hand underneath my knee, trying to pull that lower part of my leg closer to my chest. And then I'm also trying to push those hips forward at the same time I pull that leg up. Taking it extra easy on this one just because groin muscles get pulled often. These next ones are really good for my hips. Like I said, I do sit down a lot driving Uber, so I need to do extra to focus on the hips. I'm putting an elastic band around my legs. I'm gonna squat down. This time I only did about 15 yards. In the future, I'll do the full 50 yards, but just taking it easy today. So instead of doing the full 50 yards, I'm gonna do 15 down and back 2 different times. And then over time, I'll slowly build up 20 yards, 30 yards until I get to the full 50. I just went down and back. It's the same thing. We're not gonna watch this twice. I did do it 2 times. So now we're about to do some ladder drills, getting into the first exercise, taking it real simple, just putting one foot in each box. I think I do 3 sets of these. And then the next exercise is actually putting both feet in each box. And then I'm also making sure that I'm pumping my arms. Even on the first drill, I forgot to say it, in every drill, you wanna make sure you're pumping your upper body just as much as your lower body. Those first ones are pretty simple, but even with the first couple, I did about 60% on the first one, 80% on the second one, and then I go full out on the third one. Of course, if we're doing 4 to 5 sets, then everything after the third one will be full speed. But when I'm doing a drill, I wanna make sure I'm doing it right first, and then I'll kick it up. But this one is 2 feet in, 1 foot out, and when you start by stepping with the inside foot. I got it slowed down and then I'll show it to you what it looks like when it's fast. And then also, I've been doing these for a while, just playing sports, but if I'm ever working out with someone who hasn't done these before, then we'll actually count out the steps as we go. So we'll say 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, just to make it a little bit easier. Then I'll show it to y'all from a different angle before we speed it up. And so I would have them count out loud or count for them, and it would look like 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, all the way down. And then now I'll show y'all what it looks like sped up. This is from the first angle. And then from the second camera, I did that one 3 times as well. Next, I'm going to be leading with the front foot, just putting 2 feet in, 2 feet out. Just finished up the ladder drills, getting to the cone drills. I didn't actually pull out the cones on this one because Alphalete has the yards marked for me. If they didn't, then I would measure out 3 cones with 5 yards in between each one. I'm gonna go 5 yards in one direction, 10 in the next, and then finish to the middle cone. It'll look a lot easier as I show it to you. Before we actually go, I'm gonna break down the starting position. You can tell that I am going to the left because my right elbow, I have it in the opposite direction that I'm gonna go because I want to throw that elbow out to help me get started as fast as possible. So it's 5 yards one way, run all the way to the second cone, and then finish through the third one. So it's 5, 10, and 5. I do this one 3 different times. After the shuttle drill running, now I'm doing it sideways. So it's still the same thing, 5, 10, and 5, but instead of turning and running, I'm just doing side steps. This next one I think is called a L drill. That would make sense because the cones are in the shape of an L. 2 different things. For starters, I'm doing falling starts. What I'm doing is leaning forward until I can't lean anymore, and then taking a step with the first foot that comes up. The first time around, you're gonna step with whatever foot naturally comes forward, and then you wanna be paying attention to that because the next time you do it, you're still gonna do the falling start, but whenever you can't lean anymore, you're gonna go with the opposite foot. We're going outside, inside, outside, finishing through that last cone. You're gonna see it one more time in the opposite direction. I had to start at the opposite cone. Same thing, falling start, just catching myself with the opposite leg, outside the cone, inside the cone, outside, and then finish through the third one. The next drill, I guess I either deleted it or forgot to film. I doubt I forgot to film, but I doubt I deleted it also, but it's not here. So I did do another drill. I had 5 cones. The 5 cones were in the shape of a W or an M, depending on how you look at it. Actually, I'm gonna say it's an M because we're facing this direction. So I got 5 cones. I'm running to technically the second cone forward, the third cone backward, the fourth cone forward, and then finishing the drill coming backwards. And then the second time I'm gonna start on this side and go forward, back, and back. Not sure what happened to the footage, but that was the next drill. After the L drills, now I'm going to do some sprints. A lot of people would call these strides. 2 things. I'm not going full speed, and my actual stride, which is why we call them strides, is a little bit longer than normal. This field is 50 yards. I went down and back nonstop. That's not the same as going 100 yards because my momentum is gonna completely stop and switch directions. This drill is supposed to be for working on my top speed, so it would be best if I did it at full speed for 100 yards as opposed to 50 and 50 because that break in the middle makes a big difference. I went down and back 3 times. Now I'm gonna do the same thing, but instead of sprinting, it's gonna be side shuffles, down and back, And then a big one with this, a lot of people will say I'm standing up too high, I need to squat down lower, but I'm trying to get down and back as fast as possible. So there's no reason for, and actually the wind blew the camera, you don't need to see that anyways, but if you are sprinting down the field, you would not be squatting into a squat position. So why would I squat low on the side ones? Maybe if I had a band around like I did in the beginning and you want to squat low to work the glutes more, but even then I want to train in the position that I'm actually going to be in. So if I'm playing basketball and I'm holding somebody or defending somebody, then I'm not going to be in the lowest position possible. So there's no reason for me to train like that daily. If I just wanted to build up the muscles in my butt, which I don't, then maybe I would go lower. But for me specifically, trying to prepare for the sports that I actually play, I'm gonna do it similar to the sports that I actually play. And then finishing up the workout, I'm gonna do down and backwards. So, and that's pretty much it for this workout. Everything was done 3 times. One drill I forgot to film, or I don't know what happened to that footage. Sometimes I will lift weights afterwards, but since I'm just getting back in shape, keeping it simple, just doing the speed, agility, and quickness exercises. That's it, guys. I'll see y'all in the next video.